Hi, when you're about to undertake a large website transformation, whether it's redesigning the site or changing CMS platforms or potentially making other changes to your site, one of the main things you want to make sure you have is a clear vision for what you're attempting to do. And so in order for it to be a good vision, there are three things that need to be in place. One is that it needs to be a focused strategy. Next, that it needs to be possible to implement. And lastly, that it can be ongoing. So looking at the first one, being focused, this one can be difficult to actually pull off for an organization because often for years you've been putting up with a website that maybe doesn't have the kind of features that you need, and you've been waiting for a long time. So really you want to put in all of the latest features and capabilities, and you can really want to throw the kitchen sink into the requirements. And there are lots of reasons to be focused. One of the most important is that you're more likely to satisfy your site visitor or your customer, and also you're more likely to have a smoother implementation internally too, because if everybody is clear on what the vision is up front, then that will lead to less surprises later. And there are lots of ways of telling whether you have a focused strategy, but one of them is that you've actually prioritized what you're trying to do, including saying something specifically will not be part of what you're attempting in your transformation. And the next item that's important is that the strategy is possible. This one can be a little bit harder to figure out because really whether something's possible to implement or not has to do both with technical and non-technical things. Also, you've even got kind of areas that kind of bridge the two, like metadata and taxonomy, that sometimes people want to really ramp up the sophistication of their taxonomies, and that, for example, could be hard to maintain or implement in the first place. So you want to look at whether something that you're attempting to do is possible. And one way that I like to look at this is that you're moving a certain weight across a certain distance. So there's where you are now, where you're trying to go, and you're moving a weight against along that path. And so you want to figure out whether you can pull that off or not. And the last element of a strong strategy is that it is ongoing. So there are really two aspects of this. One is that you set yourself up kind of operationally to continue to improve your website and avoid the redesign, forget, redesign cycle. But also, when you're actually launching in the first place, that potentially instead of thinking of it in terms of a big bang launch, that you actually go into it from the start thinking that you're going to be phasing out features even when you are, again, in that initial implementation. So these are three elements that are important for a strong digital strategy. It's got to be focused, possible, and ongoing. And if you go to hobsontech.com, on the home page you can see a free download for a mini report on deep digital strategy that goes into these elements in more detail. Thanks.